Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome to another exciting episode of All Drawn Acres. So this hive we last inspected, I believe it was 4 weeks ago, maybe 4.5. I'll get the details and put it in the notes when I post this video. About a week and a half ago, I went ahead and put on the super that you see. So when we last left our heroes, we took the bottom box, which was empty, and put it on top. So in other words, with the full box on bottom, put the empty box on top of the big boxes, and then left it alone for a couple weeks. Looked like they were getting pretty full of bees. At that point, they'd filled up the top box, which had been empty, was full of brood and nectar and pollen and all of that. And so I went ahead and put on a super. And like I said, that was about, I believe, a week and a half ago. And let's go ahead and see how they're doing. So I'll pause it here, and then we'll get things opened up and we'll take a look. Just had to turn this back on for a second. I mean, that is a large number of bees just on top of the inner cover. Can't imagine to see what all the rest of it's going to look like. All right, back in just a moment. Okay, here we are. So I'll start taking some frames out. I can already see just by looking down between the frames that there's quite a bit of honey in there already. Here, I'll take you in for a look, see if you can see the honey in there. Might be able to or not. Let's stop wasting time. Let's just get in there and see what we've got. Assuming I can get the tripod back down without breaking the camera. Zoom out a little bit for you. All right, here we go. Okay, this is nuts. All right, this is the outer frame, and it's loaded with honey. So if the rest of them are like that, I guess it's a good thing that I've got a couple queens coming next week so that I can split this bad boy and get some more bees. Oh my gosh, that is just gorgeous. Just incredible. I don't think there's any reason to go any further in the super with the honey, because I can tell that all the frames look about the same. And the funny part is, I think one of those was just an empty frame I put in there. They drew it out and filled it with honey. So let's kind of get a little history lesson here. So this hive came out of winter with 4, maybe 5 frames of bees, and this queen, in 4 weeks time or so since that inspection, has filled up a second deep, and then those bees have filled up a super full of honey. Either these bees are incredible, or we're having an incredible year here in Missouri, because I've never had this kind of production before. In case you're wondering, the queen is a daughter of a queen that I got from red belly bees down in Mississippi. And if you'd like, I'll put the information in the again in the notes section of the video, in case you decide you want to get some queens from the gentleman. He's real good to deal with. I'm going to pause it while I'm taking things back apart. Alright, here we have the top box, which, keep in mind, was empty, I believe, 4 weeks ago. Again, I'll put the exact information in the notes section. So at this point, I'm just checking to see, hopefully we don't have any swarm cells. Generally, I'd like swarm cells, but since I got 2 queens on the way, I prefer not to have to deal with swarm cells at this point. I'm a big fan of swarm cells. I think they're some of the best queens you can get. If you can't fight Mother Nature, you might as well work with her. No, I don't have a proper hive tool at this point. If you can see what I'm doing here, I'm just using a small screwdriver. Alright, so here's the far right hand side. Mostly honey. You can see it's a frame that had some damage. They're working on fixing it. Lots of pollen and honey on there. It's not too heavy, so it's not completely full. Jeez. Uh-oh. Swarm cell. More than likely. Fairly good brood pattern, although it looks like some of it's hatched out and they've backfilled it with honey. Trying to get into that to see if we have just a cup or an actual swarm cell. Okay, it's just a cup at this point because there's no egg or anything in there. On the side we've got a little bit of brood and a lot of pollen. So again, wall-to-wall brood, some open spots that have emerged. I can see some emerging right now. I'll try to show that to you on the camera. See if I can get that in frame. So hopefully if it's on there, you can see a baby bee just now coming out. Alright. Tell you what, this is some incredible performance by that queen. Maybe this is how beekeeping is supposed to be. Been doing this for probably 15 years and have never had a hive this productive. Always thought it was the Missouri weather. Oh, time to put the gloves on. Sorry about the delay there. Had to put my gloves on. They started stinging, and of course I am a hand model, so you know I can't take too many stings to the hands. I'll take a look at a couple more frames. If we don't see any swarm cells, then hopefully we'll be good until those queens get here next week. Alright, so this frame looks to have emerged recently, and the queen's already been back in here, and I believe she's got it laid up again. Looks like it's eggs with some royal jelly in there. They are getting quite a bit of pollen in there too, which of course they need to raise the brood. All right, one more frame. I think we're good. Alright, another absolutely gorgeous frame. Just taking a quick look to see if I see the queen. I don't really feel the need to find her because I do see eggs, which means she's still somewhere. But you know, if you got the frame out, you might as well take a gander for her anyway. Yeah, this frame is laid, and you may or may not be able to see that. Try a few different angles. Just laid wall to wall with eggs. No swarm cells. Fairly confident that we're in good shape on that. Alright, I'll put this back together and finish up with some closing thoughts. Alright folks, so I went ahead and just put another box on. It's completely foundationless, no comb. Actually, I think there's one frame that has some comb in there. I'm only doing that because I'm just trying to give them a little more space to discourage the swarming instinct. Of course, if they're feeling flush and they're doing a reproductive swarm, nothing I do is going to stop that. But I'm just hoping that this will maybe dissuade them a little bit until those queens get here next week and I can do the splits. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Tell folks about it. Again, I'll put a link in the comment field about where I got these queens. Thanks and have a great day.